Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to today's English Live, where we will be looking at powerful punctuation. So this lesson is all about understanding and recognizing how useful punctuation can be in conveying meaning and just generally making our writing come alive. It really is the bones of our writing. But before that, a few things first. So as we always do, I will explain about this. So if you're new to English Live, or if you're a little unsure, after the lesson, your parents can download one of these task sheets from the English Live resources group. And there are 6 different activities on there that you can do after the lesson that can extend and consolidate your learning. And they're aimed at different areas of interest and different needs and learning styles. So there's something there for everyone, okay? And they're not necessarily aimed at any particular age or year group, because everybody learns at their own pace. So you can download that, and it's also the place where you can put photographs and videos of your work after the lesson. And as I do say every now and then, just a reminder that when children are in school, they are encouraged to give feedback on each other's work. And it's a really important skill for them to be able to offer support and constructive criticism and evaluation of other work. And it also helps them with their own learning. So parents, if you do get the chance, take them over to that Facebook group, show them some work, and ask them if they could give some comments that you could post for them, but obviously all positive, please. So a few shout outs. Well, lots of you have been asking for shout outs today, and I've had lots of lovely messages as well. So I'm going to try and race through these first ones. Hello to Jessica and Matthew in Sheffield. Hello to Caris and Lara in Coventry. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Happy birthday to Emma in Upminster. It's your birthday today. I hope you have a lovely birthday. And I know that you're watching with Mum and your brother Dylan. Hello to Ethan, who is 9 in Lincoln. Your mum says that you're much improved at your English work, so really well done for that. Hello to Abigail and Matthew Hopkins, to Charlie, who is from Morecambe, to Duncan, who is 7. Shout out to Arthur, who is 7. It's his first lesson today. To Juno and Zola, who also have their first lesson today and also have beautiful names. So I hope that you'll enjoy the lesson today. To Molly Rose, shout out to Adeline, to Ruby and Francis, to Jaya in Southampton, hi Jaya, and to Sarbit, hello Sarbit. You asked how I was doing today. I'm doing great today. I'm getting to teach to all of you. What a pleasure for me. How are you doing? Good, I hope. Okay, I will do some more shout outs later in the lesson, but for now we'll just get on with looking at punctuation. So we start every lesson with a quick starter activity. It's to get our brain muscle moving so that we're ready to look at a few different ideas, do a few different little tasks to prepare ourselves to go on to the task work after the lesson. So today's starter, this is one, if you've done lots of my lessons, you'll be really familiar with this style of starter activity. How many words can you create from the letters found in the word punctuation? Okay, so an example of one might be tin, T-I-N, or on, can be in any order. See how many you can come up with. I'm going to give you about 1.5 minutes to do this. You can either write them down or shout them out at the screen or discuss them with your family. It's up to you. Okay, good luck. Play.
Wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just got to run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not running. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life will believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Wow, lots of great words. Well done. Hi, Digby. Pause. Okay, well done. Hopefully that got your brain moving. I can still see so many fantastic words coming through. So you're obviously using your brain, you're using your eyes, your brain, everything's working. Great start. So in this lesson, I'm not going to necessarily cover how different punctuation should be used. If you would like to, you can look over my previous lessons. I've got a lesson on how commas should be used. I have a lesson on contractions and apostrophes. And what else have I got? And I will be doing a lesson specifically on colons and semicolons next week. Okay, so if you're wanting to work out how different punctuation is used, then maybe go to those lessons and brush up that way. But this lesson is just going to look at the magic of punctuation and how we can utilize it in our own writing. So the first thing we're going to look at today is this sentence here. Some of you you may have seen this before. I've seen it in memes all over the internet for years. Let's eat, Grandad. Let's eat, Grandad. So I'm just going to give you 30 seconds. I'll pop the music on for you to discuss the difference between the meaning of these two sentences. See if you can work it out. And if you do know, quiz your adults or your siblings, see who thinks they know better than the other. Good luck. Play. Pause. Okay, did you work it out? Okay, so the first one is saying, let's eat granddad. So a bit of cannibalism there. Let's actually eat granddad. Let's eat his arms and his legs and so on. Whereas the second one is saying, let's eat granddad. So it's addressing that comment to granddad. So inviting granddad to eat with you rather than eat him. Okay, so commas are so important. They can save lives. And I think this is a really nice way to illustrate that. Okay, well done if you got that right, and especially well done if you got it right, but your adults in the room or your older siblings didn't. Right, we are going to look now at another sentence. And I'm going to ask you to try and punctuate it for meaning. Now, if you're lower key stage 1 and you're finding this really tricky, don't worry, just do your best, have a bit of fun with it. Nobody is getting called out for doing wrong answers here. So it's all just practice and engaging with our learning and having a little bit of school through the computer at home, okay? So the sentence we're going to look at is pupils without these teachers are nothing, okay? At the moment, it doesn't make a great deal of sense. There are different ways you can punctuate this sentence that give it a different meaning. I am going to give you a little bit of time to do this one. And afterwards, I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can punctuate it that give 2 very different meanings, okay? So you can put commas, full stops, exclamation marks, colons, semicolons, ellipsis, whatever form of punctuation mark that you think works. Okay, good luck and off you go. Play.
Can't wait to be with you. You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just gotta run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not running. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life will chase your dream. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life will believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're gonna have to do it all by yourself.
lots of you saying you wouldn't eat your granddad's. That's great to hear. Pause. Okay, I've seen some answers coming up in the chat, so I think some of you have got an idea of how to punctuate this sentence. But first, a few hellos. So hello to Eva, who is 9, who says, thank you for the English lessons. Eva, it is absolutely my pleasure. It means that my own children and my husband go out of the house for 45 minutes and I get to have a cup of coffee and teach you all. And it's wonderful. I love it. It's the favourite part, my most favourite part of the day. Hello to Exarge in Windsor, to Holly, who is 9 in Peterborough, great name, to Elmi, who is 10 in London, and to Megan, who is loving the lessons. Thank you, Megan. A shout out to James, who is 9 on Saturday. Happy birthday, James. And to Francis, who is 8, who is watching with his dog, Crikey. If you're new to English Live and you're wondering why everybody's talking about their dogs, it's because I've got a dog called Bertie. He's just down here lounging in the sun at the moment. And he just creates noise and gets in the way and barks at delivery drivers and comes to say a quick hello on the end. A big shout out to Charlie, who is 10 in Halifax, and to Austin and Sylvia, who have been joining my lessons since Monday and are loving them. Well, I'm loving having you, so thank you very much for joining me. And well done to Julia, who said she'll never eat her granddad's, and to all of you that say you won't eat your granddad's. That's really nice. So how would we punctuate this sentence? Well, there are 2 different ways that give us 2 very distinct meanings. So I'm going to take these down. This is where we see that it's definitely live and it gets a bit fiddly. And I'm going to put these 2 pages up. Okay, can we see that? I think you can see it. You can see it. I'll bring it a bit closer in a moment. So the first one, pupils. Without these, teachers are nothing. Okay, so this one here is saying that pupils are super important and us teachers, we're nothing without you. Whereas this one, pupils, without these teachers are nothing. So this one here is saying that the pupils, without their teachers, they are nothing. I think both are correct, but it's a really good example of how punctuation can completely switch the meaning of a sentence. I'll be interested to see how many of you put the pupils as being nothing without their teachers, or the teachers nothing without their pupils. It would be interesting to see. But nevertheless, like I said, a great example using a colon here, and I will do my lesson on colons and semicolons next week. Commas here, and of course, as always, don't forget you must put a full stop on the end of your sentence, okay? Marks the ending. So let's move on to another one. I'm now going to talk about the ellipsis. Okay, many of you will be familiar with the ellipsis. If you're not, I wonder if you can see the board behind me here. The ellipsis looks like this. Oh, red won't show up. Dot, dot, dot. You can do up to 4. So you can do 3 or 4 for an ellipsis. Generally, we do 3. I do 3. Occasionally, I might accidentally put a 4th one in. But your ellipsis looks like that. And commonly, if you're in Key Stage 1 or Key Stage 2 and you're using an ellipsis, it will be to give an extended pause. And sometimes we can use that to create a little bit of suspense. So I'm going to show you 2 sentences. One that uses an ellipse and an ellipsis, and one that doesn't. Okay, let's get that a bit closer for you. Okay, you can see that, I think. Yes. So the girl crept up to the fence, peered over and heard a bang. Okay, makes sense. It's accurately punctuated, but it's a little bit boring, okay? Whereas this example here, The girl crept up to the fence, peered over, and bang! A little bit more interesting, okay? So the ellipsis there has given us that pause when we recite this, okay, when we read it aloud, and really emphasizes the bang, okay? So what I'm going to do now is give you the start of a sentence with an ellipsis, and I'm going to ask you to come up with your own ending for it. Think about whether you want to surprise your reader, or if you want to create a little bit of tension by adding in that pause. I'll let you decide. Okay, I'm going to give you about a minute to do this. If you're not quick at writing things down, you can discuss it. Or if you don't like writing things down, you can discuss it, call it out at the screen, type it into the live chat, whichever way works best for you. Okay, good luck. Play. Wow, Yolanda, that's a good one. Lots of suspense being created with your ellipsis. Well done. Oh, they're going so fast.
You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their...
Okay, some lovely ones coming through. Really impressed. If you are able to see the live chat, you'll see there's some great ones coming through. Let's see. And the boy turned into the mystery street, and boom! Ooh, gosh, what happened to him? So clearly, the ellipsis can be used in your creative writing, but you can also use an ellipsis. This is the next thing I'd like to talk about, to shorten a piece of text that you're using as a quote or as an example. So this is particularly useful for Key Stage 3, and certainly as you move up to Key Stage 4. Okay, you can use it in a similar way that you would use an apostrophe and a contraction to take out some letters. An ellipsis can be used to take out a few words or more than a few words. So if you're giving a quote, or if you're making a note of something that a celebrity or a politician or an artist says, and it's a really long speech and you just want to use part of it, you can use the ellipsis to show that something has been taken out. So I'm going to show you this, make sure I've got the right one here. Yes, it's live. So it doesn't matter too much if you can't see this. This is a long version of a speech, and I'm going to give you a shortened version that uses an ellipsis as an example. There are plans in place for a complete overhaul of the school system, filling it with exciting opportunities. Boring lessons will be cancelled. Okay, now that's quite a long quote if you were to put it on a poster or if you were to use it within a news article. So you might like to shorten it. And I've shortened it to, there are plans in place, boring lessons will be cancelled. I have not changed any of the words at all. I've used the first part and the last part. It makes sense, and the ellipsis in the middle shows that something has been taken out. So I've got another longer quote for you, and I'd like you to either write it up or you can talk about it if you're not a quick writer or if you don't like to write. I'd like you to use an ellipsis to take out some of this information. So I will bring this closer because I recognise it is in a smaller type. I've got an announcement to make to you all. Some of you will already know this and will have already acted on it. Will have acted on it already. But I need to tell you that school lessons will now take place on the roof. Head teacher to her staff. I did just make these up. So can you use an ellipsis to shorten this quote from a head teacher that just keeps the important information still there, but doesn't end up with lots and lots and lots of not so useful words? Okay, so we're just sort of going for the highlights. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Off you go. Play.
And look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not running. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life will chase you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life will believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Oh, my dad's watching. Hi, Dad. Hi, Isla and Vivi. Pause. Okay, I wonder how you've managed to do this. I personally probably would have taken out I would have taken out all of this and just kept lessons will now take place on the roof. So my shortened version, I know you probably can't see what I've crossed out, that's fine. I've got an announcement. Lessons will now take place on the roof. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. You might have kept to make to you all, or to tell you that school lessons always are fine. It's up to you how you use an ellipsis for that purpose. Okay, so that brings us to the end of. Nearly lost the board then. That brings us to the end of our powerful punctuation lesson. These lessons are just a snippet of learning, a little bit of an introduction. And then if you download the task sheet, you'll have lots of things you can do there that might be more suited to your learning style or your ability. And that should extend and consolidate your learning after this. Okay, so tomorrow we have my VE Day special. So we have the themed spellathon, which is going to be great fun, and I'm going to read out some of your wonderful war poetry that you wrote following on from Tuesday's lesson. And I will be announcing the winners of my letter writing competition too. So lots of exciting stuff to come tomorrow. Bertie, do you want to say a quick goodbye to everyone? I think he's a bit grumpy that I made him dance with me, so I'm going to leave him just there today. But thank you very, very much for joining me. Thank you for the lovely comments that you've all been posting in the live chat and on the Facebook page. It's really nice for me to hear how much you're all enjoying these lessons. And a huge thank you to all of you that have bought me a coffee. It's hugely appreciated, really, really is. So thank you for that. I will see you all tomorrow, just before 11. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.